Thanks for joining me on another episode of Sunnylanka. Today we're going to be making green tomatoes and shrimp. Here are the ingredients. Okay, so now to begin, I'm just going to, these tomatoes were, well, it's the fall season now and didn't get a chance to ripe. So I had a few here and it's about 350 grams altogether. So I just evenly divide it. I'm going to keep the two larger ones for later. And then the two smaller ones, I'm going to puree them. So just to cut them out just like you would any other tomato. Take out the top. They're quite tart at this point. And so they work very well in tenderizing meat or fish. And shrimps cook really fast. So why not have them together? Now, one thing with Sri Lankans are, back in the villages at least, it's all about sustainability. So they try to use everything to make the most benefit out of it. So green tomatoes don't go to waste. They won't just wait for them to ripe. Sometimes it could make a meal. So I'm just gonna roughly chop it. We're going to puree it, so it really doesn't matter how it's chopped. And I just do the step of pureeing the tomatoes, but you could use all of them sliced, which I'm going to do with the other two. But these two, I thought if you just puree it, it makes that tartness even more recognizable. Okay, last one. Now, did you know that tomato leaves are edible? You can have them. You couldn't have them all just by itself. I would mix it in with some other green or so. So just here in my mini food processor, I'm going to just dump them in. My hands are clean. And oops. Just going to add to that, I'm going to add about just a pinch, not too much, a quarter teaspoon of turmeric and a very slightly 1/8 of a teaspoon of chili powder. We will be adding more of that later. So I'm going to try and just grind this down to a paste. If not, I may have to add some water. Okay, so in a bowl, I'm just going to add in the pureed tomatoes. And to that, I'm going to marinate my shrimp that are washed and deveined. I've taken out the legs, and this was a headless. I got it cleaned already. I'm just putting them in. And I'm going to also add in some salt. And I'm using about 2 teaspoons. We can check for salt half. I'm going to check for salt a little later. So now I'm going to add a little more of that chili, about 1 teaspoon. And another pinch of the turmeric. Just a pinch because we had put in a 1/4 teaspoon before. And I'll give that a good mix. Now usually back home they would have just marinated the shrimp by just mixing in the green chili and the turmeric. I'm sorry, the red chili and the turmeric powder, and just left it aside to marinate. But I'm just using the green tomatoes as well. Okay, so now to the other 2 tomatoes that we had, I've just cut them into halves, and I'm going to slice them into fairly thin slices, not too thin and not too thick either. And this is going to hold its shape in the dish. So depending on how soft the tomatoes are, one of them is a little softer than the other one, so I'm cutting that the softer one a little thicker, and then this is not as soft, so it's a little thinner. Now if you didn't have tomatoes, it wouldn't be the same dish, but you could still make prawns or shrimp curry. And I'm using tomatoes as a acidic factor in this dish, but you could also use tamarind or gorica. Okay, so I'm just going to put that into a dish, and I'm ready to go. Okay, so now my stove is on medium heat. I just had it on medium heat, between medium and high actually, and it's warm enough, so I'm going to add my oil. About 2 tablespoons or less if you're conscious about the oil. And since the oil is hot, I'm going to add in my mustard seeds, and they should start sputtering right away. Okay, once the mustard seeds sputter, I add in the curry leaves and the rampa. Just tear it up and add it in. And I'm adding the onions, chopped onions. Give that a stir. Calm it down. Add in the fenugreek seeds and the ginger and the garlic. Mix that up. Don't let the garlic burn. Just want to coat with oil. I'm going to let the onions fry till they start turning a slight golden brown. Okay, so now they're starting to color slightly, and so now I'm going to add the shrimp. Okay, so then you just give that a good mix. And now this is very optional, but because shrimp tend to have a sweetness to it, you can add a Scotch bonnet pepper, but you have to be careful. I'm putting it in whole for the flavor, not the spice. They're very, very spicy, and these were from my garden as well. So here's one more thing from my garden. So I'm dropping the whole thing in, and that's just for flavor. I didn't even take the stalk off because I just want the flavor. and I don't want to break open that pepper. And now I'm just going to add, this is the second coconut milk, so it's a little thinner, and that's to just give me my gravy. And just mix that in nicely. And then add in the green tomatoes. Give that a good mix as well. Shrimp are already cooked, but I'm going to leave them in just a little bit so that the tomatoes get a chance to cook. Done. No wait, I just put a lid on it and it's been about 7 minutes. And I'm just going to fish the Scotch bonnet pepper out, and you can see the tomato has been cooked down, the shrimp is done. So you can do a taste test to make sure your salt is enough and your chili is enough. You can add a little bit if you wanted to. And now I'm just going to add the first coconut milk, the thick milk. And this is optional, but it does add a lot of flavor. Give that a mix. And I'm just going to give it about a minute, not more, just to warm up and for the coconut milk to be mixed in properly, and that's it. So here you have it, folks, today's recipe, green tomatoes with shrimp. I hope you try it and let me know how your dish turns out. And thank you for all your support and subscriptions. Please do keep giving me feedback so I can be inspired to do more videos. Thanks for watching.